ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। Text 1 from Canto 5, Chapter 19. Srila Sukdev Goswami said, My dear king, in the in the Kimpus, Kimpurusa Varsa, the great devotee Hanuman is always engaged with the inhabitants of that land in the devotional service to Lord Ramachandra, the elder brother of Lakshman and dear husband of Sita Devi. Text 2. A host of Gandharvas is always engaged in chanting the glories of Lord Ramachandra. The chanting is always extremely auspicious. Hanumanji and Artisena, the chief of Kim, Kimpus, Kimpurs, Kimpursa Varsa, constantly hear those glories with complete attention. Hanuman chants the following mantras. Text 3. Let us please your lordship by chanting the Bija mantra Omkara. I wish to offer my respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead, who is the best among the most highly elevated personalities. Your lordship is the reservoir of the all good qualities of Aryans. People who are advanced for Aryans. Aryans are the people who are advanced. Your characters and behavior are always consistent, and you always control your senses and mind. Your senses and mind, acting just like an ordinary human being, you exhibit exemplary character to teach other how to behave. There is a touchstone that can be used to examine the quality of gold, but you are like a touchstone that can verify all good qualities. You are worshipped by Brahmanas, who are the foremost of all devotees. You are the supreme person, are the king of kings, and therefore I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Text 4. The Lord, whose pure form of Sachit Ananda Vigraha is uncontaminated by the modes of material nature and can be perceived by pure consciousness. In the Vedanta, he is described as being one without a second. Because of his spiritual potency, he is untouched by the contamination of material nature, and because he is not subjected to the material vision, he is known as transcendental. He has no material activities, nor has he a material form or name. Only in pure consciousness, Krishna consciousness, can one perceive the transcendental form of the Lord. Let us be firmly fixed at the lotus feet of the Lord Ramachandra, and let us offer our respectful obeisances unto those transcendental lotus feet. Text 5. It was ordained that Ravana, chief of Rakshasa, could not be killed by anyone but a man. And for this reason, Lord Ramchandra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, appeared in the form of a human being. Lord Ramachandra's mission, however, was not only to kill Ravana, but also to teach the mortal beings that material happiness centered around the sex life or centered around one's wife is the cause of many miseries. He is, he is the self sufficient Supreme Personality of Godhead, and nothing is lamentable for him. Therefore, why else could he be subjected to the tribulation by the kidnapping of Mother Sita? Text 6. Since Lord Ram, since Lord Sri Ramachandra is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudev, he is not attached to anything in this material world. He is the most beloved super soul of all self realized souls, and he is their very intimate friend. He is full of all opulences. Therefore, he could not possibly have suffered because of the separation from his wife, nor could he have given up his wife and Lakshmana, his younger brother. To give up either would have been absolutely impossible. Text 7. One cannot establish a friendship with the Supreme Lord Ramachandra on the basis of a material qualities such as one's birth in an an arico- aristocratic family, one's personal beauty or one's eloquence, one's sharp intelligence or one's superior race or nation. None of these qualification is actually a prerequisite for friendship with Lord Sri Ramachandra. Otherwise, how it is possible that although we uncivilized inhabitants of the forest have not taken noble births, although we have no physical beauty, and although we cannot speak like gentlemen, Lord Ramachandra has nevertheless accepted us as friends. Therefore, whether one is demigod or a demon or a man or a creature other than man, such as the beast or bird, everyone should worship Lord Ramachandra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead who appears on this earth just like a human being. There is no need of great austerities or penances or to worship the Lord, for he accepts even a small service offered by his devotees. Thus he is satisfied as soon as he is thus he is satisfied, and as soon as he is satisfied, the devotee is successful. Therefore, Lord Sri Ramachandra brought all the devotees of Ayodhya back home, back to Godhead. Text 9. Sukdev Goswami continued, the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are inconceivable. He has appeared in the form of Naranarayana and in the land of Bharatvarsha at the place known as Badrikashram to favor his devotees by teaching them religion, knowledge, renunciation, spiritual power, sense control, and the freedom from false ego. He is advanced in opulence of spiritual assets, and he engages in executing austerity until the end of this millennium. This is the process of self realization. Text 10. In his own book, known as Narada Pancharatra, Bhag- Bhagwan Narad has very vividly described how to work to achieve the ultimate goal of life, devotion, through knowledge and through execution of mystic yoga system. He has also described the glories of the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The great sage Narada instructed the tenants of this transcendental literature to the Sravana Muni in order to teach those Bharat, inhabitants of Bharatvarsha who strictly follow this principle of Varnashram Dharma of, on how to achieve the devotional service of the Lord. Thus, Narad Muni, along with the other inhabitants of Bharatvarsha, always engage in the service of Naranarayana, and he chants as follows. Um, so here I rest. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Kishore Prabhuji, for reading the translations today. So, very, very useful section, very, very nice section. And just give me a few more seconds. I'm just going through one paragraph. So now for a brief phrase, and we can start. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chekshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desatarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, the very wonderful section of prayers offered by Lord Hanuman to Supreme Lord Rama. So this section we are hearing from last chapter and the different verses of Jambudvipa and how different personalities, different devotees are offering prayers to Supreme Lord. That is the way we are able to understand about Bhakti and about the Supreme Lord and also about the devotees. This is the essence of scriptures. Knowing about Supreme Lord, knowing about Bhakti and knowing about Bhaktas or devotees. So we get the opportunity to know. And this is a very dense section with lots of wonderful things, especially with Srila Prabhupada purports. He's highlighting several important points and several important themes that go across Srimad Bhagavatam many times. So today also happens to be Srila Prabhupada's Disappearance Day. So it's a nice day to read Srila Prabhupada's books on Srila Prabhupada's Disappearance Day and meditate on his sacrifices and cultivate gratitude for his offerings to all of us and people beyond this current movement, people around the world also. So, the so text 1 of this chapter, 19th chapter, 5th canto, starts with introduction by Sukadeva Goswami, who is saying that in a Varsha called Kimpurusha Varsha, Hanuman, who is a great devotee, is always engaged in devotional service to Lord Rama, along with inhabitants of that place. So, and Rama is introduced as the elder brother of Lakshmana and dear husband of Sita Devi in this verse. These are also important. Many of you might know when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, was conversing with Haridas Thakur, that is published by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in a book called Harinam Chintamani. So there's a description about the primary names of the Lord and secondary names of the Lord. How? I'm keeping it very, very brief. Secondary names of the Lord, when we chant, uh, at the most, we'll get liberation or removal of sinful reactions, getting all the material benedictions like that. But primary names of the Lord, when we chant, we get the supreme destination of going to Goloka Vrindavan, for example, if we chant the primary names of Lord Krishna. And how does he define the primary names of the Lord? One of the ways it's defined is uh, i- describing Lord according to his relation with his other devotees like that. So in this case, we're hearing how Lord Rama is elder brother of Lakshmana and dearest dear husband of Sita Devi like that. So that's the way. Similarly, Yashoda Nandana, Nanda Nandana, like that is a glorification of Krishna. Those are all primary names of Krishna also. So that's how he's introducing the Lord Rama in this verse. These are beautiful prayers. Again, in the ninth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a brief description of Ramayana. But here, Lord Rama's qualities are briefly captured in essence, and Lord Rama's purpose also is captured in essence by prayers from Hanuman. Going to the second verse, Sukadeva Goswami is describing not only Hanuman is worshipping, but also there are Gandharvas who are chanting the glories of Lord Ramachandra on this Varsha, in this Varsha. And he is saying that his chanting is extremely auspicious always. Always. That's the important point. Not sometimes is auspicious, sometimes not auspicious like that. Even the chief person of this Varsha, his name is Arshtisena. Along with Hanuman, they are worshipping Supreme Lord and then constantly hearing the glories with the complete attention, it seems. So who is singing? Gandharvas is singing. And then Hanuman and all the other inhabitants are hearing. So, interestingly, whether we are hearing or whether we are chanting, both are of same quality in spiritual life. For example, somebody is giving a class or somebody is hearing a class. Both have the same potency to uplift us in spiritual consciousness. Both have the same potential to purify us out of our material consciousness. Both has the potency to develop attraction towards the Supreme Lord for us. So that is exemplified here. Hanuman is hearing while Gandharvas are singing. Many of you might know Gandharvas are known for their beautiful singing. So whatever somebody can do the best, they let them do as a service. Then whatever others can do as best in service, they do it. So similarly here, because Gandharvas are beautiful, have the ability, strength, gift given by Supreme Lord to be able to sing properly, they're engaging their ability in serving Lord by singing. And then Hanuman and others are engaging in hearing the glories while they're singing like that. So that's the beauty of devotion service. So there's no one thing is not bigger than the other thing. Whatever each of us has capacity and gifts and talents, we engage in Krishna service. That's so we can progress in devotion service. The other day, uh, His Holiness Vedavyas Priya Swami Maharaj was describing beautifully how Krishna gives gradations of devotion service in the 12th chapter of Bhagavata. Why does he do that? He doesn't say, you have to come to pure devotion service, then only I will do something for you. Otherwise, you get lost. You cannot do anything. Not like that. Everybody can act at wherever they are like that. So when we understand this knowledge that everybody is suitable to do devotion service, everybody is able to do some service at their level, then that helps us not to be envious of somebody, not to be hating somebody, not to discriminate against somebody, but be compassionate to all others. So that way we can extend whatever we can do for the benefit of them, and they can engage in some way or other in the service of Supreme Lord like that. So that is what we can learn. So now this realization will give us also will help us to understand sometimes we uh, this helps us to understand how can be engaged at their level. For example, highest level is somebody will be to engage in pure devotion service. That may be highest level, but everybody is not ready for that right now. So lowest level is they can engage in some service for Krishna, whether it's physically with their body, they come to temple and serve, or they give some money for Krishna, or they give some money for propagating Krishna consciousness, or that is the service level. That means they don't have any interest in devotion service currently. And the next level is people are wanting to do devotional service next level. That means they'll do devotion service, but for example, I have some material desires also, but I want to do devotion service also. That is my level. So then next level is pure devotion service. That is whatever Prabhupada is quoting in one of the purports also. Anya vilashta sunyam. Jnana karma dhyanavrutam anukulyena krishnanushilinam bhakti vruttama. So that is a Uttama Bhakti. Somebody is eligible for doing Uttama Bhakti. Somebody is inclined to do Uttama Bhakti. So that is that level. So not like if you do Uttam Bhakti, you are in. Otherwise, you are out. Not like that. Anybody can be engaged in different levels. So when we understand this principle, we're compassionate and we let others engage at whatever level they want. Instead of being resentful that, oh, they are useless. They don't want to do pure devotion service. No. Right now they are doing this. That way they can get to next level. That way next get level. In fact, we also started like that. When we understand how we started, then we'll not be resentful about others, how they're starting. Yeah, that's one important principle I wanted to share. So going to the verse purport itself, Prabhupada is making one important point in the purport again. Prabhupada is saying about the transcendental identity of the Supreme Lord, Rama Lakshman, Bharata Shatrugna. So in one Purana, Vishnu Dharmottara is describing how Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrughna are Vasudeva, Sankarsana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. One Purana is saying that. Another Purana, Padma Purana, is saying that Lord Ramachandra is like Ramayana, like Narayana, sorry, Narayana. And then Lakshmana is like Shesha, and Bharata and Shatrughna are like Chakra and Shankha. These are the weapons of Supreme Lord, right? In Vishnu form. Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma. So Shankar Chakra and Sheshar, Lakshmana, Bharata Shatrughna and Lakshmana like that. So now how do you understand this? Normally we think if this is correct, this is wrong. If this is correct, this is wrong like that, right? But how do we understand both of them are correct? That principle Prabhupada is sharing. This is very important principle for keeping our faith in devotion service, especially when we see somebody says Varahadev is white, somebody says Varahadev is blue. How do we understand this? Like that. So similarly here there are expansions of Sankarsana is one place is saying, another place is expansion of Shesha is saying about Lakshmana. How do we understand this? Prabhupada is quoting Baladev Vidyabhushana. And the word he uses is, the phrase uses is Tadidam Kalpa Bedanaiva Sambhavyam. Kalpa Beda is the term in short devotees use. That means in one Kalpa, one day of Lord Brahma, they come as expansion of Vasudeva Sankarsana Pradyumna Aniruddha. Another day of Brahma, another Kalpa of Brahma. Then they come from Narayana, Shesha, Shankha, and Chakra, like that. That is how we need to understand it. So this principle is useful to understand different pastimes instead of thinking, oh, these guys are useless. They tell incorrectly. There is inconsistency. See, I caught it. Not like that. So there is a spiritual acharyas are giving like Baldabhishna is giving us the principle to live by, and Prabhupada is mercifully quoting us. Even though we didn't get to read any Baldabhishna books, but Prabhupada is giving it to us directly like that. Now going to text number 3. Now this verse and words 3 to 8, we are hearing Hanuman's prayers. Hanuman is praying, uh, let me please your lordship by chanting Bija mantras. Bija mantra means something that starts with Om. These are to be chanted when we are pure, when you are clean, when we are sitting in a clean place like that, not in wherever we want, where it is unclean place or bathrooms like that. So, but Hare Krishna Mahamantra can be chanted anywhere. That is the beauty of it. So he's saying, you are the best among the highest elevated personalities. And your reservoir of all the good qualities of civilized peoples who are called Aryans. So now, this verse main focus is about good qualities of Lord Rama, especially that normally we are used to hearing how Krishna's are ornaments are getting glorified by when Krishna wears them. Not that Krishna looks beautiful like that, right? Bhushana Bhushanangam is a common phrase used in Srimad Bhagavatam verses. That means ornaments are glorified by being on Krishna like that. Similarly, Lord Rama is the perfection of all good qualities. If somebody needs to test what is a good quality, then they can test against Lord Rama's character and qualities like that. So to describe that, there's an example given in this verse, describing a touchstone, not the touchstone that converts everything to gold, but like testing stone that is used by goldsmith, it seems, to check whether this is pure gold or not, like that, by touching it, by rubbing it. Similarly, when somebody has a doubt what is a good quality, they can test it against Lord Rama himself, like that. And the key point being shared here, which is elaborated in the coming verses also, is that Lord Rama is exemplifying the qualities to teach others. So somebody is not, so there is another important quality we need to learn also. Meaning, I should not just speak something nice, but even though for example, I don't have those all the good qualities, but I speak about them from the scripture. Then I need to get the motivation, inspiration, and desire, aspiration to cultivate the good qualities myself only, not just speaking for others. So even though I may not be at that platform now, but I need to start somewhere so that I can slowly develop the qualities like that. Like that, that's the inspiration we can see from Lord Rama himself. This is also called Acharya principle. That means we develop the character of what we are teaching, what we want to inspire others, other dependents, for example, our children, our wife, our friends. If we want to inspire them, we want to develop our qualities ourselves. We want to develop the taste ourselves for bhakti. Then it is easy to share with others. Otherwise, we cannot share much. Vaishnav Prabhu calls it, we need to develop the mustard seed of taste. Then we develop the mustard seed of taste. That's all we're getting from sadhana, he says. When we get that mustard seed of taste, that overflow that we are tasting is what we share with others like that. So it is important while we are being compassionate with others, especially in this marathon month, that we focus on our sadhana nicely. Because unless our sadhana is nice, unless we develop taste and attraction for sadhana and bhakti, we cannot share with others nicely. That's the other principle. Go to text number 4. Text number 4, um, this is describing how Lord has a pure Sachidananda form. Sachidananda means eternal, blissful, full of knowledge form, not a material form. His body is not made up of material elements like as earth, water, fire, like that. So, and he can be, Lord can be perceived only by pure consciousness. If my consciousness is not pure, I cannot understand something pure. For example, if I don't have good qualities, I cannot see good qualities in others. So when I'm always seeing only bad qualities in others, I can understand that I am saturated with those bad qualities. But if I'm able to see one good quality in others, then I can understand, oh, I have some little good quality. That is one barometer for us to say, check. And then that is why we cannot recognize exalted qualities of devotees like Prabhupada and others because we don't have all of them. So whatever we appreciate, we can only appreciate to a certain extent only, based on how much we have appreciation for those good qualities ourselves, like that. And then he's saying, Lord Rama is not subject to material vision. That is why he's known as transcendental. And he has no material activities, has no material form or name. So somebody, people may think, oh, this is verse is saying God doesn't have a form, God doesn't have a name, like that. No, Prabhupada is clarifying God doesn't have a material form like us. God doesn't have a material name like us. His form, name is supreme and absolute. That is non-different from him as a person like that. So, another point Prabhupada is making is Lord Ramachandra in full opulences is same as Krishna, original Krishna from whom is incarnated. So there's no difference from him. Some people may think, oh, Lord Rama doesn't have four hands like Narayana. Lord Rama doesn't carry Shankha Chakra Gada Padma, so he's not Supreme Lord. No, no. He is the original Supreme Lord only, coming from Krishna. Similarly is the case with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also. So if a demonic persons like Ravana, because they do not have spiritual vision, they cannot recognize Supreme Lord. So, but devotees who have some devotion for Krishna or Rama, they can recognize Supreme Lord like that. Prabhupada is also elaborating the purport here. And Prabhupada is quoting the Brahma Samhita verse, Premanjana Bhakti Vilochanana. If our eyes are anointed with love for Supreme Lord, then we can recognize Supreme Lord. Then we can exchange love with the Supreme Lord. Like that, Prabhupada is writing also. And then going to the next verse, text number 5. This is an important purport, is a wonderful purport. Prabhupada is summarizing the whole purpose of Lord Rama's incarnation in 3 main points. It's simply nicely written, wonderful purport. So, Lord Ramachandra's mission is not only for Paritrana Sadhuna Vinashaya Duskrita. That means not only for protecting the devotees, not only for uh, annihilating the demons. How does he protect the demons? Devotees also is describing for us. So Lord Ramachandra is protecting the devotees in two ways, or other humans also, by giving some lessons with his own personal example, like why he had to demonstrate suffering, he had to suffer with Sita going away, him going to the forest, and all those things. So he's giving one, Prabhupada is giving the three important lessons. One is that is teaching the lesson to devotees and to human society that uh, just by accepting a grihastha ashram, by accepting a wife, one is bound to face some tribulations, difficulties in life for sure. So, if we are able to stay in brahmachari ashram, don't need to go to grihastha like that. But if you accept grihastha ashram, then be prepared for some tribulations, some difficulties will be there. Everything is not a cakewalk. Everything is not, oh, I'll get married, my wife will serve in every way possible. I don't need to do anything. I just sit and happily sit and eat. Not like that. There are some tribulations you need to face. Number one. Number two, he is showing with his personal example that if you're married anyway, if you've taken up Grihasthashram anyway, then you need to be a dutiful husband. Not like I don't care about wife, I just do my bhakti. Not like that. We offer full protection to wife, like Rama offered full protection to wife Sita. He didn't say, "Oh my God, it's so much waste of time to go get Sita now." Not like that. He took care of her. He protected Sita, and he taught a lesson to Ravana also. Similarly, we should give full protection to our wife and the children because we took up Grihasthashram. Not like they will live by themselves anyway. I don't care. Not like that. So we offer full protection. That is the second lesson Lord Rama is teaching with his appearance here like that. A third lesson Prabhupada is summarizing here is a little bit difficult for us to understand, but Prabhupada is sharing with us anyway, which is even though Lord Rama looks sad in separation of Sita, even though Sita is looking sad and sorrowful in separation of Rama, actually they are experiencing the bliss of Vipralamba, the bliss of separation, bliss of love in separation like that. It's a very elaborate topic. I don't have so much realization myself, but Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita also describes, and in the Krishna book also, Srila Prabhupada describes. In Bhagavad Gita also, some places Srila Prabhupada describes in the purports that when we are separated from Supreme Lord and when we are fully absorbed in Supreme Lord, the absorption intensity will increase in separation. With that intensity and absorption increasing, then we experience the transcendental bliss because we're associating Supreme Lord by remembering Supreme Lord like that. That is one way we can understand it. By increased absorption, we are experiencing bliss in association with the Supreme Lord. So that is another way to, this is important purport. If you get time, you can read it also because sometimes hearing will help, will touch your heart only a little bit. And hearing also you will only get so much benefit as the purity of the person speaking. But if you are hearing from a pure devotee, then it will have highest impact. So when we are reading directly from Prabhupada's purports, then we'll get association of Prabhupada directly, and it will have more impact on us also. That is the reason we take the sadhu sangha in reading Prabhupada books. So we can get the highest impact from pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada. Going to text number 6. Here Hanuman is praying that even though he is a Supreme Lord full of all appliances, is not attached to any material thing, and is full of all six appliances. So six appliances include appliance of renunciation, sannyasa. So that's what is glorifying here. What are the six appliances? Wealth, fame, strength, influence, beauty, and renunciation. Prabhupada is writing in the beginning of this purport. So how did he exhibit renunciation? So mm, even though Supreme Lord has all the wealth and Supreme Lord has a beautiful wife, Mother Sita, wonderful brother like Lakshmana, he didn't, at a time comes to teach example for others, for a particular mission he came, he didn't mind parting with Sita Devi, parting with Lakshmana at appropriate time to do his duty, like that. That is the opulence of renunciation that Supreme Lord is personally exhibiting here. So similarly, when it's time comes to our doing a spiritual duty, we should be that should take the top priority. Our health takes the highest priority. Then comes our sadhana, that's the second highest priority, and then comes our family, and then comes our services. So that we should always remember. So that way we can give whatever deserves the highest priority, gets the highest priority, health and sadhana. Then comes family, then services, like that. So that's the other lesson we can learn from here, that Lord Rama is teaching his opulence of renunciation, number one, and teaching how we should engage in spiritual duties no matter what. And that also means sometimes we don't feel like it, but we should still do it because it's very good for us ultimately. Meaning, Swami Bhagavan Keshav Maharaj, yesterday I was listening to a class, he was telling how he was telling a mantra. We all have Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Similarly, another mantra is, uh, I don't want to sacrifice, I'm paraphrasing in my own words, I don't want to uh, sacrifice my ultimate goal for what feels good right now at the moment. That means I know for long term good, I need to follow some discipline. But it feels so good not to follow discipline currently. So I don't sacrifice my ultimate good, ultimate goal, ultimate desire I have for some cheap thing, for temporary pleasure right now, like that. There is another principle we can learn also. Yeah, going to text number 7. Oh, this is another beautiful verse. And purport also, Prabhupada is quoting from Nectar of Devotion. So basically, and Chaitanya Charitamrita also he quotes in this verse, I think. Nectar of Devotion in the next purport, I think. Here is quoting from Chaitanya Charitamrita and Srimad Bhagavatam itself from first canto. Basically, we can establish friendship, a relationship with Supreme Lord Ramachandra without having any material qualifications. I may think, oh, I don't have so much knowledge like this, Prabhuji. I don't have so much knowledge like this, Mataji. I don't have so much skill to dress deities like this, Prabhuji. I don't have so much skill to cook like this, Mataji. We might think I don't have any qualities at all. How can I grow in devotion service? We might think. But this is the inspiration verse for us. Is saying we don't need any material qualifications to serve Krishna or serve Rama. All we need is a sincere desire and whatever devotion we can master right now. That is sufficient to attract the mercy of Supreme Lord. And that's so we can grow in devotion. This is a beautiful inspiration for us. To share that principle, Prabhupada is quoting Kunti Devi saying Akinchana Gochara. One who doesn't have Janma Aishwarya Sruti Sribir, that means who doesn't have materially great opulent things, great birth or great opulence, great beauty, great knowledge, like that. When somebody has those, many times they cannot take the holy name properly because they're already satisfied. I'm good. I don't need anything else. Somebody will say like that, right? So that's what Kunti Devi is saying. But if we are actually lacking some of them, it's a benefit for us. Then we say, oh Krishna, I cannot cook nicely for you. I cannot do nice devotion service. I cannot even chant nicely. I cannot even hear nicely. I cannot understand properly. Please accept whatever I am able to do, Krishna. Like that, in that humble mood, we'll serve now. Then that is very attractive to Krishna. He will come and help us more and more. And then another example Prabhupada is sharing is of Kolavecha Sridhar. Is an example that comes in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. He's a wonderful devotee. He's very, very poor. So poor that his hut is roof of the hut has holes, lot of holes. That means he doesn't have money to repair that also. And then he doesn't drink in brass mugs. That time that was a trend. But he was drinking in an iron pot water, like that. So that's the examples Prabhupada gives in the purport. Basically, but he was a wonderful devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In fact, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu reveals later on that is one of the eternal associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So such a personality, he whatever money he gets, 50% he gives to worship Ganges and 50% he uses for maintenance, like that. What money he gets? He gets like few anas, that means few paisas, like that. That much only he uses, still half of it he dedicates to Supreme Lord, like that. Similarly, we also engage our resources in service of Krishna. Whatever resource we have to engage in Krishna's service like that. That's another lesson we can learn from here. Yeah, Prabhupada is quoting Nectar Devotion also, Anyabhyasita Sunyam verse here, that we should, without any material profit desire, we should engage in the service of Krishna like that. That's the point being made. Text number 8. Oh, text number 8 and 9. Oh, yeah, it is saying everyone should worship Lord Ramchandra, whether it's a human being, animal, plant, ant, doesn't matter. Everybody should worship Lord Ramchandra because Lord Ramchandra is merciful to everybody. Krishna is merciful to everybody. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is merciful to everybody. He doesn't see, oh, he's a man, he's a woman. Not like that. Anybody can engage in devotion service nicely because Supreme Lord is supremely merciful like that. Now going to the last 9th and 10th verses. Is introducing for the next section tomorrow. Essentially, is describing how in the Bharata Varsha, the Varsha where we are in, Bharata Varsha, Bharata Khanda we are in, how Narayana Rishi appeared, Supreme Lord appears as Narayana Rishi is in Badrika Ashrama and in the top of the Himalayas near Badrinath, and how he is worshipped by Narada, none other than great Narada. So we are going to hear Narada's prayers. So one of the point in this purport Prabhupada is saying is devotion service means we need to do some austerity. At least we don't need to do austerities of fasting for 10 days or austerities like yogis or gnanis do. We can do simple austerities like chanting our Hare Krishna Mahamantra every day nicely, or fixed number of nouns nicely, following our four regulatory principles nicely, and doing some seva according to our capacity every day nicely. Like that we can do. That's what Prabhupada is encouraging us. Devotion service means not just comfortably doing everything, but doing with some tapasya. In the next verse, it's being described that, yeah, Narada Muni is describing to Savarni Manu, it seems, in the principles of Varnashma Dharma. Prabhupada is glorifying Varnashma Dharma. If you do Varnashma Dharma, then we have a scope for engaging in pure devotion service. How? See, this is also showing Prabhupada's merciful nature. Varnashma Dharma is not pure devotion service. But by doing Varnashma Dharma, in one of the purpose, Prabhupada says, uh, they'll get opportunity to associate with devotees. See, Varnashram Dharma includes giving charity. Varnashram Dharma includes respecting elders, worshipping devatas like that also. So, primarily including doing our prescribed duties nicely. Just by doing prescribed duties nicely, somebody gets opportunity to associate with devotees. When we get association of devotees, then we develop attraction, awaken our attraction to engage in devotion service. Then when we engage in devotion service, then we'll develop aspiration for pure devotion service and get to the pure devotion service also. So if you see like that as a gradual elevation, then we can appreciate and engage everybody wherever they are in the service like that. Oh, sorry, I went too over today. We'll pause there. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya कृपा सिंधुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः.